another language. Duolingo!
Look no feather. I'm going to teach you how to use Duolingo for schools. I'm Madame Sensei. I teach Spanish, French, and Japanese to high school students, and I teach English as an additional language to adult learners in the community. Today, I'm going to teach you how to sign students up to your Duolingo for Schools classroom. Now, I work really hard on learning the craft of teaching, but I haven't worked really hard on learning the craft of making videos. So I had a terrible time last episode blurring out my students' names. And I decided this time to make things easier on myself so I can get these videos out faster to you, I was just going to take screenshots because I know how to cover up names in screenshots. So what you're going to do is you go to your Duolingo for Schools classroom. You create a classroom the way I showed you in the last episode. Once you've created the classroom, click on the classroom, and you're going to have this button right up here that says Invite Students. Click on that button. And it walks you through the process. You've got a choice here. You can share the classroom link, or you can create accounts for your students. I prefer to click on Share Classroom Link. I think it's far easier to understand. Creating accounts for your students, you're creating the login for them, and students don't really like that. They would much rather use their own email and their own username and things that they decide on. So I would share Classroom Link personally. All right, so you're going to get a screen like this. You can click right here on this copy thing. Now, I usually register, I teach 6 classes, so I'm usually registering 90 new students a year. And every year there's 1 or 2 students whose name will glitch. And I'll give you an example of that. That'll be like weird numbers and letters and stuff. That's why I left that kind of out so you could see. And it only happens when I click on here. So if I have them physically in the classroom and there's a glitch, I can be sitting right behind their shoulder and walking them through it. But if we're doing it all remotely, I found this was a little too irritating. So instead, I just share the classroom code. You're going to get a classroom code. It's a bunch of letters, and it's the same letters as right here. Now, you can direct your students to go to join.duolingo.com, or you can just direct them to go to www.duolingo.com. The next screen, you can print a PDF if you want. That will walk your students through it. So if your students are totally new to Duolingo, they've never made an account, they're going to have to do a very quick lesson first before they can even get to the screen where they got their avatar and they can click on Settings and then Progress Sharing and then enter your classroom code. So if they're totally new to Duolingo, the very first thing Duolingo is going to ask them to do is take a placement test or start with the basics. So if your students are completely new to the language that you're teaching, have them start with the basics. If they've learned a little bit, you can ask them to take a placement test, your choice, okay? But they will have to do a very quick lesson first, and that lesson's only going to be about 3.5 minutes long. The second caveat I have for you is don't let them choose crazy names. Whatever you do, if you want to put your grades in quickly, don't let them choose names that you have to hunt down, okay? They are going to want to choose weird stuff. But I tell my students, I'm sorry, I don't know who Dank Memes is. I don't know who It's Ya Boy is. I don't know who Laser Kitty is. If you want a grade, please choose a name that I can recognize. And, I do let them personalize it to an extent because I want everything to be meaningful to my students, but make sure that the names they choose are things that you can easily recognize so that you don't drive yourself crazy when you're putting in grades. Now, when you send your students to Duolingo, tell them to look for their avatar in the upper right corner. It might be a blue silhouette. It might be a dotted circle with their letter in it. They might have added an avatar. All right, so it's right here. They're going to click on Settings right here, and then they're going to click on Progress Sharing. So have them go to Settings first and then Progress Sharing. And once in Progress Sharing, they can just type in your classroom code right here, those 5 letters that you gave them, and then click on Join Classroom. And just in case you wanted to know, they could join a number of classrooms. I put myself in every single one of my classrooms, so I'm in like 9 classrooms. It doesn't matter how many they're in, so if they have another teacher that wants to track them, or they come from another classroom, they can leave that classroom and join yours, or they can stay in the classroom. It doesn't matter. Post your questions about pedagogy and how to use Duolingo for schools. Right here, click on that Discuss button that we looked at. Make sure you're in the Educators forum on the right-hand side. Post your questions, and I or some other very helpful person will answer them for you. And then I also want to make a plug for the Duolingo Educators Network. Once you click here in the Educators forum, you'll see the sticky, What is the Educator Network? This is honestly the best professional learning community that I belong to. So click there, join up, and I hope to see you there. Thank you very much.
Duolingo. It's the best way for you to learn another language.